Football is back. Now, the Football League season has already started. It started this weekend just gone. And of course, the Premier League season starts next weekend, starting on Friday night with Liverpool taking on Norwich at Anfield. As ever, there's a range of new changes to the laws of the game. So here's my quick guide to all the new rules this season. Hello good people, thank you so much for tuning in to another video on this channel, Real Football UK. Thank you so much for all of you who have subscribed already. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. My handle on Twitter is RealFootyUK, and it'd be great if you could join me over there. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video too. So this video is going to be all about the new changes to the rules of football this season. There's quite a few of them this year, and some of them you'll probably be aware of already, some of them you probably won't. Let's get dug in and see what's what. I'm going to start with VAR because obviously now this isn't a rule change as such, but obviously this is going to have a big impact on the way rules are enforced in the league. So it's worth mentioning that the Premier League are going to be using VAR for the first time properly this season. Obviously we've had trials in cup competitions in the past. We've had the Women's World Cup recently had it. The Men's World Cup the year before also used VAR, but it's the first time that an English football league is going to be using the technology. Now, if you watched any of the Women's World Cup this summer, you'll be aware of the fact that VAR really did not do itself any favours at all. And as somebody who was pretty much for video technology a couple of years ago, I have to say the way VAR has been introduced worries me massively. I don't think it's working. I think it's been rushed in, and the way it was ran in the Women's World Cup was absolutely shocking, to be perfectly honest with you. You know, decisions were taking too long to make quite often, which was completely disrupting the flow of the game, something that VAR was meant to not be doing. It was promised to us that the flow of the game wouldn't be interrupted massively, but it was taking 5, 6, 7 minutes sometimes in order to make a decision via VAR, and I just think that's not good for the game. So my question for you today is quite simple. What do you think of VAR? Let me know in the comments below. Are you for it? Are you against it? Let me know. I'd love to have a dialogue with you on this and see what the consensus is out there. So yeah, just leave your comments in the section below and that'd be great. Now let's get into the new rules for the season. So let's start with drop balls. Drop balls will now be uncontested. So if the referee deems that a drop ball is necessary, then he's going to be able to quickly award possession to the team that touched the ball last. And of course it will be from the spot where the team last touched the ball. When the drop ball happens, all the other players on the pitch need to be at least 4.5 yards away. If this happens in the penalty area though, the ball's going to be returned to the goalkeeper even if the attacking team had the ball. One other thing to note here, if the ball hits a referee and possession goes to the other side as a result, then the referee will award a drop ball to the team who lost possession. So let's look at handballs now. So obviously deliberate handball is still an offence, so the changes here really come with accidental handball. So accidental handball can now be an offence if a goal is scored by the attacker, or a player gets the ball using his or her arm or hand and then scores, or creates a goal scoring opportunity, or the player's hand/arm is above their shoulder, or it makes their body unnaturally bigger. So a few rules to sort of digest there really. I'm guessing the idea of the overriding idea of this rule, I think, is to not punish people when they're blasted by the ball from about 3 yards away and they've got their hands by their side or their back, which we've seen penalties given for and free kicks given for in the past. Goal kicks now. Goal kicks can now be passed to a teammate who is still inside the 18-yard box. It's always been a strange rule, this one, and so I'm kind of pleased to see it's been changed, as I don't think it's going to impact the game in any major way at all. I think it's a bit like the kickoff rule from a couple of seasons back. You know, it just kind of makes you think, why did we not change this earlier? It's got no impact on the game whatsoever. The fact that we now kick it off backwards with one person in the centre circle rather than having to play the ball into the opposition half, it just didn't make sense. Same with goal kicks in the 18-yard box. It's not going to impact the game massively. However, I think teams like Man City, for example, who like to pass out from the back, will probably make good use of this subtle change, because until the goalkeeper actually kicks the ball, the opponents must remain outside of the area. So I think you can see teams, particularly those teams who like to build up from the back, sort of will see more defenders in the box, almost getting like a free pass to start the move off. I think it's a good change. Free kicks now. So this rule change really is about the walls during free kicks. So if a team is defending a free kick and they have 3 or more people in it, so that if the defending team has 3 or more people in a wall, the attacking team can't put a man in the wall. There's no players are allowed within 1 foot of the wall, otherwise they're going to give away another indirect free kick from the spot of where they are. Now, so the only issue I can see with this rule is if a player doesn't move more than a foot away from the wall on a direct free kick, for example, so you can imagine your team gets a free kick on the edge of the area, about 25 yards out, they're going to have a shot at goal because it's a direct free kick. What would stop a team putting someone next to the wall to deliberately give away an indirect free kick, which then makes it trickier for the attacking team to score? So I'm a little bit concerned about that particular rule. Now, quick free kicks. Now, one thing that used to annoy me was if your team received a free kick for a really terrible tackle, particularly if you're on a counter-attack, and your player goes down to take a quick free kick to try and continue the counter-attack as quickly as you possibly can. It's really irritating when the referee pulls that back because they have to book a player or even send a player off who conceded the free kick. And my issue with that is the fact that it allows the team who conceded the foul the chance to get their whole team, 11 men, back behind the ball and regroup, and the attacking team loses any advantage at all. In other words, you were being penalised for being fouled, and it was what we might call a professional foul, and it was always in the advantage of the team who were defending because, yeah, you could take a booking and then you could regroup and easily defend a situation. So the good news here is that in this type of scenario this season, if a player's fouled and they see the opportunity to take a quick free kick to keep the attack going, they can. And the referee can simply book or send off the guilty player once the ball is dead, whether that's through a goal or just out into touch or for another foul. Now, I think that's really sensible. I think that's a really good rule change. I think it will help. Basically, it plays into the hand of the attacking team, which it should do. It should favour the attacking team. It shouldn't be a get-out-of-jail-free card for a struggling defending team. Okay, penalties. Now, this is going to be interesting with VAR. So, as many of you will have seen during the Women's World Cup, the law now states that a goalkeeper must be much more static on their line. Goalkeepers aren't allowed behind or in front of their line at all. And to be honest, it was really painful to see so many penalties missed or saved, and then VAR butting in, forcing the retake that was then scored. I don't really like the fact that people can't truly celebrate moments until the VAR checks have been done. Thankfully, I think the Premier League have recognised this, and basically what they're saying is that if the match officials on the pitch don't spot the goalkeeper off their line, then they're not going to be checking using VAR. To me, it's a very sensible thing that the Premier League is saying that, but I'm still not a fan of this particular rule. I don't like the fact that goalkeepers have such little movement on their line because it's hard enough as a goalkeeper to save a penalty anyway. So substitutions now. Substitutes now must leave the field at the most convenient place and walk back around the pitch to the dugout. So, for example, if your winger is on the far side of the pitch and they get substituted, they will have to go off at the far side of the pitch and walk all the way around. Hopefully, this is going to stop teams, pulling those wingers off on the far side of the pitch in the last minute in order to waste some time, as we've seen countless times. Okay, let's talk about cards for coaches. So a rule that was in place last season in the English Football League and is now being rolled out worldwide is that a team official who's guilty of misconduct, so someone who's sat in the dugout area basically, can obviously be shown a yellow or a red card. Now, if the offender can't be identified, then the senior coach in the technical area at the time will receive the card. So I'm not sure whether senior coach means manager or whether it means like first team coach. I don't know what that means in terms of senior coach, but I'd imagine it would mean the manager. So I think we might see more managers sent to the stand this season or receiving a yellow card even. So we'll see what happens with that. So there we go. There's the main rule changes coming into force this season in England. What do you think to this? Let me know in the comments below. Like I say, let me know what you think about VAR in the comments below. And if you've liked this video, please feel free to subscribe and like the video. That would really help me out massively. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you really soon for another video.